So far this year, we've had a bunch of exciting releases from the typical AAA publishers and developers, including the Resident Evil 2 remake, Kingdom Hearts 3, Anthem, Metro Exodus, and Apex Legends, and there's many more left to come. But the indie space grows more and more exciting every single year. Last year we saw some absolutely awesome titles that earned themselves huge praise like Celeste, Return of the Obra Dinn, and the gorgeous and brutal Dead Cells. And 2019 looks set to be another year filled with high quality titles from independent developers. From beautiful art styles and wonderful narratives to emotional stories and brilliant combat systems, these indie games look set to make a huge impact on the industry as they continue to every year. In today's video, we're going to look at the top 5 upcoming indie games set to release this year. Let's take a look. From the creators of the highly acclaimed Oxenfree comes Afterparty, a game that looks filled with humour and fun. Recently deceased friends Milo and Lola find themselves in hell, and the only way to escape will be to beat the devil himself in a drinking competition. This 2D adventure game from developers Night School Studio has a beautiful art style and a gorgeous colour palette, and the creators look set to make another top quality indie title. The game has a deep conversation system as you control both friends, which will lead to branching relationships and story. And the choices you make throughout the game will resonate throughout hell itself. Play beer pong, have a dance-off, or beat demons in a drinking contest to make your way through the underworld and towards your goal of defeating the devil. The developers showed their game at E3 last year, and the game still looks set to come out in 2019 for PC. Now this game looks like an absolute riot. Void Bastards is brought to you by the development team Blue Manchu, based in Canberra, Australia, and headed up by Jonathan Shea, a co-founder of Irrational Games, who was development director for both Bioshock and System Shock 2. Void Bastards looks set to be somewhat of a strategic first-person immersive sim mixed with roguelite mechanics, as your task as the player to strategically navigate derelict ships in the Sargasso Nebula, to scrounge for supplies and upgrades, constantly leveling up your player characters, and once they die, do it all over again with another, keeping hold of your items and upgrades throughout your adventures. The art style created by the developers for this game is stunning, with a bright and colourful cartoon aesthetic which looks to me as a mashup of Borderlands and classic comic books, with a selection of cool weaponry and tools, and by the looks of things a fair bit of humour as well. Even the game's cover art is stylised to look like a comic book too. It looks as though the nebula will be filled with a huge range of derelict spaceships to tackle and the eventual goal of escaping to freedom, but each ship will bring different challenges and require a different approach to succeed. Will you take the easy route with less loot, or go all in on a much more risky path? This game looks like an absolute blast, and I'm super pumped for its release, which will be sometime in 2019, dropping on PC and Xbox One, and recently announced to be coming out day and date on Xbox Game Pass. Nightcall comes from French developers Monkey Moon and Black Muffin Studios, and presents a gorgeous black and white noir murder mystery where the player takes the role of a cab driver in modern day Paris, the last person to see the latest victim alive, and requires you to not just survive day to day as a taxi driver and earn enough money to make a living, but try and solve the mystery of a serial killer in your city. The pressure will be on you to investigate the murders through clever dialogue options throughout the game, where the customers you pick up in your taxi will share information possibly necessary to track down the killer, but the conflicting requirements of your job and the investigation will require you to make the right decisions to succeed. Not only does the art style and mood of this game look absolutely brilliant, but a narrative-driven game such as this looks like such fun, with what you can assume are many points that can cause you to fail the game. Pick up the wrong people, not ask the right questions, not make enough money to pay your way, all could lead to not tracking down the killer, and not making enough money to survive. I love the idea of solving a murder mystery like this while needing to prioritise other factors and trying to work out the best strategy, and I'm excited to get my hands on it. Nightcall drops sometime in 2019 with no release date yet announced for PC and consoles. When Tunic was first announced on stage at Xbox's press conference all the way back in 2017 E3, it showed great promise as a gorgeously stylised adventure game with a sort of old school Zelda vibe where you take control of a cute little fox in a big world. Since then, we've had little information and no release date as of yet, but this game still looks set to be lots of fun with fluid combat and a stunning art style. Created by Finji, a tiny team of developers in the US, Tunic looks like a relaxing exploration game littered with mysteries to solve, a lovely world to explore, and fun combat in the vein of old school action games of the past. I love that the text for items and even in the initial trailer is in a mysterious language, which sets the scene for a mysterious world to explore, and as always with these indie titles, the music is absolutely wonderful. There is a lot to learn about Tunic, but I'm keen to sit back, relax and enjoy this lovely little game when it releases sometime this year on PC and Xbox One. Rounding out the list is a game I'm really excited for, Katana Zero, from developers ASCII Soft. Katana Zero is a neo-noir action platformer with a gorgeous pixel art style and a banging soundtrack, featuring some absolutely awesome synthwave beats and melodies. This one-hit kill side-scroller sees you battling your way through levels with style, finesse and grace, and also combines this fast-paced action with dialogue options and a narrative to boot. Between missions, you see your therapist to talk about your previous assignment, and he gives you missions and supplies you with medication and conversational options. Other characters in the world will have dialogue options too, and your patience in these conversations will cause changes throughout the story. If you're too impatient to get back into battle, some characters will grow to dislike you, and you may change the story because of your actions. Devolver Digital has become one of the premier indie publishers in recent years, and they look like they've got another winner on their hands here. And the gorgeous design, brilliant and fast-paced combat, deep mechanics, 80s style nostalgia, and what looks set to be an interesting narrative will make Katana Zero one of those indie games we talk about at the end of the year when the inevitable Game of the Year conversations begin to happen. I can't wait to get my hands on this game very soon when it releases April 18th for Switch and PC. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below about which indie games you're most excited for in 2019. Are there any big ones I've missed? Are you going to pick up Katana Zero in just a few days? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, if you'd enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to Direckt Gaming for weekly gaming news, reviews and lists. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at Direckt Gaming as well to see what I'm playing and what's coming on the channel. And until next time, peace.